and also adds a different dimension because he's also good at using that angle. Simon Katic. Oh, it's a huffing and puffing. Simon Katic. Get your breath, mate.
Good morning, Russell. Good morning to all our viewers. A couple of flights of stairs have got me. It's humid out there today. You're right about the left armour. So Dwarshuis has come in for Spencer Johnson, and we saw it the first over the other day in the first ODI.
Initially, tell me what you see.
Well, it looks very similar to the wicket that was played on in the first ODI. A lot of runner cracks, and it looks like a big jigsaw puzzle in a way. A lot of plates out there. But what I did notice with the cracks is I think that's why there was a fair bit of seam movement the other day with the new ball, because they're a little bit uneven. You'll get the smoothness of the plate, but then where you get the crack, there's just that little bit of a divot sort of down and then the ridge up. So I think that's where the hit sort of along the crack, that new ball with the seam can deviate like we saw the other day. And as we saw in Spencer Johnson's first over the other day, that swing back in then presents a challenge for the ball that just angles across, and right-handers end up nicking a ball that they don't have to play at.
It's got that drive out. As in the test matches and the first ODI. This one, hitting it on the rump. Good shot once again. Had no right to go for 4, but the outfield very quick.
And that was a wonderful shot from Nasanka. Just leant on it beautifully. Wasn't that bad a ball from Ben Dwarshuis, but then at the full face, try and overhit it too much. So Glenn Maxwell thought about getting down. Thought probably better preserve my old frame.
Bigger plans. Plan for the day. Changes the length. Back of the length goes Dwarshuis. Let me tell you what I see. I see a dry pitch, slightly dry, of course. The cracks wider than a couple of days ago, and hence bowlers or batters running down that pitch. Their boots, nails could get stuck. They hit those edges and they can cause some damage. Shando, with your bowling options that suit these type of players. Shando, with your bowling options that suit these type of conditions. Shanma, Sita Fernando, Johnny Klianage are the seaming options. Like the top order to get stuck in and create a foundation to be able to get a score. That there'll be comfortable defending. Aaron Hardy, I was impressed with him in that first ODI. Hit the deck hard, used the angles nicely, and surprisingly, in Colombo, he got seam movement. Let's see if he can get the same today. Just a bit.
Yeah, I thought Aaron Hardy was excellent. Had a very good all-round game. 2 for 13. The first ODI, and then I thought he batted quite nicely too in a tricky situation. And Australia at the moment feel like they've got a glut of all-rounders. We're seeing a number here in this ODI team. Aaron Hardy, Glenn Maxwell, spinning all-rounder, and Sean Abbott. But we also know that in the Australian Test team, when fit, there's Cameron Green, and now Bo Webster's come into the equation with a good start to his Test career. So it's a really exciting time in Australian cricket to see all these all-rounders in and around the Australian teams in the various formats. And this young man is an exciting young talent. Good swing again today. Not a lot of carry though.
Look at the stare he gives the pitch. This is something we'll see. Less bounce. Ball, not a lot of width, but set up nicely. Madushka's off the mark.
A wonderful shot off the back foot from Madushka. That's probably the safest shot. The ball moving around, waiting for it on the top of the bounce, pressing back nicely. That was the challenge for the openers the other day. It'll be interesting to see whether both sets of teams have learned a lot from the early conditions with the new ball, whether they assess it differently today and play the first 10 overs a little bit more circumspect.
Yep, wicket to wicket. Gonna have to stay there and thereabouts because Simon, again going back on to the pitch, I also see a lot less grass. 2 wickets in the first game. I think it's the stare that gets the batters focused on where he wants to hit the deck. The movement working nicely. Those slips will have to creep in because it's not going to carry that far. Since there's no grass, I don't think it's going to be. Well, let me break down the fact about the grass. Roots and the stems, they were sticking out. I think the sea movement was off now for them. Not so much the moisture because it happened in the afternoon as well. This pitch, good luck finding any stems sticking out.
Excellent bit of fielding here and back to the point. It's a very good mover, Jake Fraser McGurk. Got a bullet arm.
Eight for no loss.
यहाँ एक्सीडेंट हो गया और इनका फोटो सेशन चल रहा है। ये नहीं कि पहले हेल्प मंगाओ।
क्लेम प्रोसेस स्टार्ट हो गया। देखो हेल्प भी आ गई।
कार इंश्योरेंस हो लेना तो एको चेक कर लेना।
The unspoken language of showing you care.
Financially risky irresponsibly.
Today, the second ODI. Sri Lanka winning the first a couple of days ago. The 2 test matches in Galle. Australia, dominant. He showed that he can move the ball both ways. Not extravagant movement, but just enough to have the batters guessing. That's what you want.
Yeah, he's been in good form, Ben Dwarshuis. Played for New South Wales the other day down in Launceston, 4 for 39. He also had a good BBL for the Sydney Sixers. It also was batting very nicely at the back end of the innings. Some experience now and getting an opportunity. Seen good swing back in already the first couple of overs. As you see there, that seam angled towards the slips, enabling the ball just to angle across and then or more looking towards the seam, looking more towards fine leg there on the right. He's a strong lad, Ben Dwarshuis. Had back troubles when he was younger, but he seems to have overcome those issues now. Mentioning earlier, you'd class him as an all-rounder now, the way he's been batting, particularly in the BBL. Played a couple of crucial knocks at the back end of the innings for the Sixers there.
A lot more comfortable, the batters. Footwork existent, non-existent a couple of days ago. Found the middle of the bat on many occasions. Papri bands. Never does a cricket match happen in Sri Lanka without the bands blaring in the stands. The say, Sri Lankans play to the beat of the band. Nicely played, can't beat Maxwell. Well, at the tail end of an innings, we wanted a batter, say, chasing 40 of 2 overs or 36 of 2 overs. I think you'd be picking Ben Dwarshuis, one of those who can do that for you.
Oh, look, he's been dynamic right from the start of his innings. in one of the BBL games at the end of the over.
Okay. Chinese, पर अपने स्टाइल से वैसे जैसे वॉक टॉक के नए इंस्टेंट नूडल्स 5 डिफरेंट फ्लेवर्स पर अपने स्टाइल से वॉक टॉक टेस्टी चाइनीज यस प्लीज
Life tastes better with Viva.
5 changes for Australia. Travis Head, Josh Inglis, Glenn Maxwell, Ben Washes and Tanveer Sangha. They slot in those to miss out. Cooper Connolly. Travis Head will open the batting and Jake Fraser McGurk will slot down to 3. So Cooper Connolly, Alex Carey, Nathan Ellis, Spencer Johnson, and Manus Labuschagne are the 5 missing out today.
Yeah, we've already seen in these first 3 and a bit overs that Lankan openers have learnt from the other day. Certainly a lot more composed early on. Game plans will be slightly different today for both teams. Both teams found themselves spots of bother because they lost too many wickets early and they had so many balls later in the innings where they could have attacked but couldn't.
This is good. He's adjusted very nicely, Aaron Hardy. He's seen he's not getting the bounce or the movement of the previous day. Been very impressive, that length and line. A lot straighter. Giving the batters nothing. Washes a maiden over previously. That's what you do. You see what's in front of you and you adjust fast. Good shot for nothing. That builds pressure. Ball will hold up. You'll have to bring in more variations here today.
This young man do a lot of bowling during the Australian summer in the BBL. Bit of an elbow problem, but looks like he's back to full fitness now.
One slip. Short extra cover in place. With the previous drive, even though he hit it smoothly, Pathum Nissanka actually was reaching in front of his body. Steve Smith has got a man shot in at that area. It's the middle of the bat, but he realizes fast that he's played in front of the body. There you go. Oh, lovely shot. Got across the stumps. Able to get that gap. A good over though from Hardy. 11 for none.
इतनी मेहनत के बाद खाना अच्छा होना तो बनता है। मेहनत का फल वीवा होता है।
Life tastes better with Viva. Habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
Working hard, the batters, to try and get themselves in. Madushka in for Avishka Fernando today. .240. I think that's what the Sri Lankans will be eyeing. Try and get there. then you allow your spinners the opportunity to try and choke Australia. If you look to score a lot more, you look at opposing teams, you look at history, they look at how the games evolve nowadays. They'll always be thinking 280, 290. If you do aim high on a pitch where you have to actually work hard and play the conventional type of cricket, you do the hard work, get used to the conditions, and then express yourself. Lovely, that'll be 4. Fine leg very wide. Madushka's looking good.
Cautious, just losing his line here, getting a little bit too straight down leg, and as a result pays the price. Tucked off the thigh pad nicely for 4. Fine leg's quite square. Result, comfortable 4. Madushka, he started nicely, run a ball 9.
Once again across Madushka. Teams look to go hard, take chances, and then they lose their way. But if you have a moderate target in mind and you play your options right, get that foundation right, you can go from there and get those extra bonus runs that you do need.
And I think that'll be more of the approach today. And it'll be interesting to see, as you rightly say, Russell, what the end result ends up being. I think it will be a better result because they'll have learned a lot from the conditions the other day. And the other thing about the modern game that is so different is that you get to the 40th over now and both balls are only 20 overs old each. So at the back end of the innings, there's an opportunity, particularly if at least one of the batters is set, to do some real damage at the back end of the innings compared to back in the day when the ball got to 35 overs, you could hardly see it, it was reversing.
You're forgetting the fact that the white ball, after the 30th over, it gets very soft, hard to hit. Whereas around the 20th over, it's still hard. The perfect time to score runs. It wouldn't move around. Maybe the first 5 to 6 overs, you can find swing. Then it's in perfect condition for batting come the 20th over to the 25th over probably. Oh, cuts him in half. 15 for no loss.
इतनी मेहनत के बाद खाना अच्छा होना तो बनता है। मेहनत का फल वीबा होता है।
Life tastes better with Viva. Echo check कर लेना.
The swimming pool at the back of us, we are in that building just there. It should be ready in about 2 months. Fabulous facilities, Kat. I'll take you for a wander. For young cricketers to hone in the pitches. State-of-the-art gym. Sri Lanka cricket at all their international venues, providing best facilities possible for young cricketers to develop. And also for the senior cricketers work on their game and get better. When at other venues in Sri Lanka where rural cricketers do not have to travel too far to get the best of facilities to improve their game.
I hope the players christened that pool the other day after the first ODI. Very inviting.
This heat, a great place to be. Ice bath or pool, do you get that option? Well, if you give the players the option, they'll be in the pool. Though it has a fabulous effect, the ice bath, it's no one's choice at all. Ruchira Pallyuguruge, standing in his 98th ODI. Adrian Holstock, 60th from South Africa. Chris Gaffney is our TV umpire. New Zealand. Ball. Bowling at the stumps. Aaron Hardy gets a wicket, and that's what the dot balls were doing. It builds up pressure, forces the batter to take a risk.
And Srilanka tied down to 6 off 20 balls. Aaron Hardy, straight line, does the job. Indiscriminate. Swing across the line there and loses the top of his off and middle stumps. But Hardy wins the battle early on. Srilanka goes. And Sri Lanka are now 15 for 1.
क्या ही बनेगा गोभी से? गोभी से? गोभी मंचूरियन, गोभी चिली.
जरूर घर में फिलिप्स एयर फ्रायर होगा. सिर्फ इसी में है 2 layer basket और starfish design जो दे perfect cooking और ढेरों dishes. So what's new on the menu? Innovation and you, Philips.
Mesmerize me and take me by surprise. The unspoken language of love.
Trust Centrum.
Kusal Mendes walking across the pitch. That will be played on 2 days ago. 87 a strike rate, 33 50s, 400s. He's one of those players who got caught on the crease, had a poke and had a walk back to the pavilion. Using his feet, a result of very good bowling from the 2 Australian fast bowlers, dotting it up. Not giving the batters anything to hit. 6th over of the game. Yep, I need to change this around, says Pathum Nissanka, and he misses. A slip. And a slightly wider slip. Cover point and extra cover. They're very square as well. Kusal Mendes, bottom hand dominant early in his innings. He opens his shoulder and that hand comes through and hence tends to hit it aerial in those areas. Steve Smith aware and hence the field. Wicket to wicket goes Hardy.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether Kusal Mendes has made any adjustments to his footwork from the first ODI where better catch through to the slips, forcing off the back foot, really getting back and anchoring that back foot of his. He was sort of still mid-air playing the shot, so challenge for him again here against Hardy.
2 straight, outfield very quick. Off the mark, Mendes.
Yeah, it's a danger when you get 2 straight. Mendes is clipping that nicely down to fine leg. Been Hardy's strength, but on this occasion just getting a little bit too much towards his thigh pad and heading down leg. Nicely played for 4.
Back of a length. Tends to hit the deck hard. Space in the high 120s. $19 for 1 after 6.
यहाँ एक्सीडेंट हो गया और इनका फोटो सेशन चल रहा है. ये नहीं कि पहले हेल्प मंगाओ.
क्लेम प्रोसेस स्टार्ट हो गया है. देखो हेल्प भी आ गई.
कार इंश्योरेंस हो लेना तो एको चेक कर लेना.
Mesmerize me and take me by surprise.
The unspoken language of showing you care.
Habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
Nissanka dismissed. 6 of 20, somewhat painstaking, you'd say. Day and age. Madushka, Kusal Mendes have been fortunate enough to get one on the pads, which they didn't miss out. Oh, beautifully bowled. A lot fuller from Dwashes.
It's a beauty from Ben Dwarshuis. Great length, but also the seam movement here. Angled across, good bounce. No footwork at all there. Madushka, front foot getting caught on the crease. Purely because of the length. A little bit of indecision in his mind creates that doubt. Talking last over about Kusal Mendes' dismissal. See here, it's that back foot, goes nowhere. It's in the air as he's making contact with the ball. So that'll be the interesting part of his innings today, whether he's made the adjustment technically to get himself in a stronger position off the back foot.
Oh, hit hard. Read the angle early. Ishan Madushka. That should give him some confidence. A shot like that for sure.
Well, he's already played a beautiful shot. Square of the wicket off Aaron Hardy earlier. But this one, it looks like he just loves a little bit of width. He's sweating on it. That was glorious. Too wide from Ben Dwarshuis. Absolutely hammered it.
Mendes does well, calls early. Gonna have to start rotating that strike now. Power play. The first 10 overs were only 2 fielders allowed outside the circle. I'd say 40-45 is a target they should have for those first 10 overs. 45 for 1, you'd take it.
Well, the 6 over mark in the first ODI, they were already 4 down. So already they're in a far stronger position than they were a couple of days ago. Right, Russell, I think slower progression today will yield a better result at the end of the day.
Too good, Dwarshuis. Look at that takeoff. Didn't test Kusal Mendes as much, but English, because suddenly that one bounces. Look at that go.
And that's another great example of the technique. Australia realise Kusal Mendes squares up, doesn't get back and across, and use the depth in his crease to get a stable base. He's on the move, he squares up. So Australia hammering that length to try and force him on the back foot.
That's for off stump guard now. Moved across his stumps. "24 for 1 after 7.
Why do we play poker? We play for the moments that define us, for the stare downs, the deep breaths, and the silence before the call. For the hands we let go, and the ones we can't. And finally, to conquer not just the tables, but ourselves. So we ask you, are you ready to play your hand? Download the PokerBazi app now.
This game may be habit-forming or financially risky. Play responsibly. Life tastes better with Viva.
Cautious start for Sri Lanka. They've lost Pathum Nissanka yet again. That's disappointing. Because he played some really sumptuous shots, I must tell you. Well, 25 for 1 at the moment. Nishan Madushka given the opportunity to replace Avishka Fernando. Australia have come up with different combinations. Dwarshuis just bowled his 4 overs for 13. Hardy has been good. He's the man. Got the wicket. Just one slip. A man on the drive at extra cover. That's a look at the field. Oh, that could have been very close. Would have been very close had that been Pat. That's why the hands went up. Good morning, Favis Maharoof.
Good morning, Roshan. Good morning, all our viewers. That was a close call. Lucky Kusal Mendes Got an inside edge, if not would have been a dead duck. Played all over it. Covering the off stump, trying to flick it through mid-wicket. That have been easy decision for Ruchirapalle Gurugai.
Nishant Madhushka, well, has had to bide his time. Sri Lanka's regular opening pair, Avishka and Pathum Nissanka. Avishka being left out after one game, but it's got to bide his time. Every time he's been given an opportunity in the white ball format, I must say that Nishant Madhushka did score runs. But then that's how team combinations are decided upon. That's how decisions are made. It could look unfair, but then... Right, but let's focus on this man, Hardy. He's been brilliant. He's been fantastic. Just look at the areas he's bowled.
Good action, nice follow through. Good seam position as well. Did not get much movement the way he got in the last game. Today, mostly he's been attacking the stumps and he was rewarded with the big wicket of Pathum Nissanka. Keeps it really simple. Most important, hit the deck hard. Batsmen don't like that particular length, the in-between length. Impressive as well when it comes to pace.
He went hard at it. He went really hard. I think he was looking for power more than timing. Madhushka.
Just on Avishka Fernando, Prashant. The last 8 innings he's played against West Indies and New Zealand at home and New Zealand away. He's rushed up 100 and 150. I feel, looking at how he dismissed it, he was dismissed in the last innings, selectors and management would have thought better of giving a chance to Nishant Madhushka. Yeah, hard call on Avishka. Sometimes in international cricket, you got to make the hard call, and certainly Nishant Madhushka, for me, as you said, deserved it as this. He's got the opportunity, he has made runs. 26 for 1.
कुमार साहब, फैमिली के लिए आप घर बना रहे हो, सोना जमा कर रहे हो, पैसे भी जोड़ रहे हो, मतलब विरासत के लिए इतना सब। लेकिन ये विरासत अधूरी रह गई तो और क्या करूं? कोटक लाइफ के टर्म इंश्योरेंस प्लान। कोटक लाइफ, विरासत बन के ही रहेगी।
And guidance. I'll see you India on Shark Tank India.
Registrations खुले हैं सिर्फ 15 फरवरी तक। Shark Tank India Season 4 exclusively on Sony Live.
Sean Abbott coming on. I loved your first question to him about the spice. Whether it was the food or the surface. He loved spicy food, but he felt that the surface was spicier. It's a good start to an interview, just to get the man going.
Spice keeps us going, isn't it, Prashant? Those days, my favorite band was Spice Girls.
Not surprised that they're the Spice Girls. I'd have been surprised if it was any other name. So you're a music guy, are you? You like music?
Started watching Spice Girls because of Victoria until David Beckham stole her. But certainly a music guy for
Stole
sure.
from you, is it?
I was too far away. Talking about music, music is on today since it's not a Poya day. The other day it was Poya and no music, not much entertainment, but on a Friday, definitely a lot for the spectators. And Sean Abbott bowled really well in the last game with the new ball. Is effective. He got rid of Janit Klinige with the new ball. Got some tap in the middle overs and the end, but is very effective with the new ball. Got rid of Sri Lankan century with a slower delivery. And the last man to go was Asitha Fernando. Asked him a question about the leadership that he has that role in this side since Josh Hazelwood, Mitchell Stark and Pat Cummins not in the side. That's something that he's looking forward to because he's been in the system for such a long time and only played a handful of games, understandably, because the big trio has played a lot of games. But this is his chance going into the Champions Trophy.
No doubt about it, yeah. Big moment for all the Aussies. You said you like music, right? So one of your old boys making waves. He's seriously making waves in Australia. I'm just wondering whether you know about it. Just wondering. Have you heard of the program Countdown in Australia? One of your old boys. Come, you don't even talk about these things.
The time has come to speak about Salson Scotch, who's been recognized, a proud Wesleyite, a proud Sri Lankan, very famous among the cricket players as well. Every time the Sri Lankan side goes to Australia, especially in Melbourne.
Sang the Murali song. Sang the Murali song and sung the national anthem when Sri Lanka played in Australia. You should remember him. You should be doing the talking, not me.
I let the senior do the talking most of the time. Nicely bowled, wicket to wicket again. It's an important day. As you correctly said, Roshan has been a wonderful servant for Sri Lanka. Over the years, whenever Sri Lankan side have gone to Australia, he's looked after the players, the management, everything has been done. Certainly, proud Sri Lankan and a proud moment for Sri Lanka.
Yeah, what a legend. As Cock, what a legend. He's certainly made a lot of waves in the music industry. Big name. Steers down to third man for a single. 27 for 1.
परफेक्टली पिसा फॉर्च्यून चक्की फ्रेश आटा ये ज्यादा पानी सूखे और बड़ी आसानी से भून जाए ताकि मेहनत से कमाई रोटी आप आसानी से बनाएं और मजे से खाएं। फॉर्च्यून चक्की फ्रेश आटा, मेहनत कम, सॉफ्टनेस ज्यादा।
खाना पकाना या बर्तन धोना, दोनों क्यों नहीं? स्कॉच ब्राइट स्क्रब स्पॉन्ज में है 3M स्टेन कटर टेक्नोलॉजी। बेहतरीन झाग, जिद्दी और चिकनी दाग के लिए और स्पॉन्ज जो दे मजबूत पकड़। अब पकाओ मजेदार जब स्कॉच ब्राइट से मिले सफाई असरदार।
Habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
Now, this is the Australian side. This is how it looks. Yes, we do know that the Champions Trophy is ahead of them. A lot of new players. Gosh, it's just 2 games. Sangar 3. Teresa McGurk 7. And Short 13. Aaron Hardy 13. Lots of young guys, lots of new guys. But do you reckon, from a team point of view, that this is a perfect kind of arrangement for them before the Champions Trophy, given these 2-day games, playing here in conditions like this, and also blooding some of these younger cricketers just to try and find them out how they do? Are 2 games enough, or you think they should play another one?
Would have at the third game. So I always believe bilateral series, minimum number of games should be 3 or even 5 to have that we can have a winner in case Australia wins it. It's going to be a 1-all. With the timings, maybe a problem with the Champions Trophy is a pinnacle. Last ball of the previous over, Sean Abbott to the 9th over. You still get some movement, hit the seam, and going away from the batter. I spoke about the roots in the morning, Roshan. That was a major factor in the first ODI. We saw the ball jagging around at least for about the first hour, just more than 1 hour. Similarly, today Sean Abbott hits at deck with a beautiful seam. There's enough movement.
Yeah, but I think the movement is not as pronounced as what it was in the first game. A lot of movement, bounce and movement. Playing a little bit away from him, Kusal Mendis, but the movement was quite pronounced. And the players were found nicking, some went through the slips, some into the slips. Oh, that went straight. Found the outside edge. Where is the slip? It's gone for 4. Where is the slip?
I thought it was the arm delivery by Matt Short. Definitely it moved away from the right hand. Kusal Mendis playing for the turn. Yeah, there was a finger delivery in front. Flicks it through. So I've loved this midfielder, Dhoni, Steve Smith. Again, just a hint of movement away from Kusal Mendis. Again, caught on the crease. That has been his problem in the first game as well. Neither behind, neither front. Was caught behind of Aaron Hardy. Almost similar. Couple of deliveries before.
A different kind of approach here. So just a little bit more on the surface now. What do you think the essential difference was between the first surface and this one? Because we saw spice. I'm taking your word. Spice on that surface with the movement and bounce when Sri Lanka batted 30 for 4 in the the first 6 or 7 overs, the ball was jagging around. But this is different. So I know one ball to go, so we can talk about it next over. But right, so take a close look. This is what Favis Maharoof saw closer. Lots of cracks. So he took a closer look, so he'll have a better idea. This is for everyone watching. Down the wicket. How big is it? I think it's big enough. Gone for 6. That's a tremendous shot. 40 for 1.
यहाँ एक्सीडेंट हो गया और इनका फोटो सेशन चल रहा है. ये नहीं कि पहले हेल्प मंगाओ.
क्लेम प्रोसेस स्टार्ट हो गया है. देखो हेल्प भी आ गई.
कार इंश्योरेंस हो लेना तो एको चेक कर लेना.
खाना पकाना या बर्तन धोना, दोनों क्यों नहीं? स्कॉच ब्राइट स्क्रब स्पॉन्ज में है 3M स्टेन कटर टेक्नोलॉजी. बेहतरीन झाग, जिद्दी और चिकनी दाग के लिए, और स्पॉन्ज जो दे मजबूत पकड़. अब पकाओ मजेदार, जब स्कॉच ब्राइट से मिले सफाई असरदार.
Chinese? Yes, please.
That was a brilliant last shot, I'll tell you, Nishan Madhushka. This is what he's capable of. I'll tell you, he is capable of shots like this. He's a striker.
Good shot. Did not get to the pitch of the ball, but what he did really well, though he did not get there, was going straight rather than slogging. That's what Pathum Nisanga did, and was clean bowl for a fast bowler and almost on the up. Nishan Madhuskar, player with confidence, runs behind his back in the domestic, gets his chance, and so far he has started really well. 22 of 25. Oh, almost had it. Almost had it.
I think 2 things happened. One thing is the cameraman, he was in danger. That was poor fielding. That was not a great technique. Don't copy it. People watching, don't copy it. That's not the technique you want to have. Sri Lanka has had a watchful start. They haven't lost wicket, but they've done well so far. 40 for 1. This is what happened in the power play.
A watchful first in overs for Sri Lanka. The game plan will be to try and get the new ball thread, try and get 230 to 40. Pathum Nisanga, was that shot necessary? Don't think so. Beautiful shots through the offside by Nishan Madhuskar, opening up the square of the wicket. The last ball of the power play went for a maximum overlong off. It's a slow delivery by Sean, but he bowled plenty of those in the last game into the pitch, almost like a leg cutter. Yeah, that has to be a slow ball with only 123 kilometers per hour. Stuck on the pitch. No disturbance, but definitely movement away.
You could see that bobble seam rolling his fingers, just a bit of bounce, but didn't arrive.
Nicely played, closer to the body by Nishan Madhuskar. Just coming back to the pitch, Roshan, but what I thought from the last game, it's far less roots on the pitch. Groundsman would have concentrated more on getting the roots out, and hence that's why we did not have much seam movement. Yes, 10 o'clock start usually at the R Premada, so you will find some. But comparing the pace and bounce is far lesser comparing the last game. That's the biggest difference I see, and definitely this becomes slower.
So you said 240 in the first game, but here you were hovering around 230, 240 again. So what's the reason for that? Because you think even 214 to me didn't look threatening to Australia in that first game. It was just their shot selection and the execution. Take nothing away from the way Sri Lanka bowled. They created very good pressure, but Australia fell for it. So 214, that's how they lost by 49 runs. But here, again, conversation starts of the last ball, so you won't be able to jump in. I'll let you start. But here, again, you think 240 is the score?
At the toss in the last game, Charita Srilanka said 280. They were reeling at 44, and then they were finishing around 240. I think in these kind of pitches, history says get 230, 240, and you can defend it later on. 43 for 1. यहाँ एक्सीडेंट हो गया और इनका फोटो सेशन चल रहा है. ये नहीं कि पहले हेल्प मंगाओ.
क्लेम प्रोसेस स्टार्ट हो गया है. देखो हेल्प भी आ गई.
कार इंश्योरेंस हो लेना तो एको चेक कर लेना।
खाना पकाना या बर्तन धोना, दोनों क्यों नहीं? स्कॉच ब्राइट स्क्रब स्पॉन्ज में है 3M स्टेन कटर टेक्नोलॉजी। बेहतरीन झाग, जिद्दी और चिकनी दाग के लिए, और स्पॉन्ज जो दे मजबूत पकड़। अब पकाओ मजेदार, जब स्कॉच ब्राइट से मिले सफाई असरदार।
We've seen 4 bowlers for Australia already shot 13 runs. I think he was a bit unlucky. He didn't have that slip when he found the outside edge. That's given Sri Lanka scoring a bit of impetus. They're going at just under 4 runs and over. Still doesn't have a slip. With Kusal Mendes on strike, it's an in-out field. Got 5 inside the circle. Yeah, vast open spaces, so it becomes a bit easy for Kusal Mendes to knock it around.
One thing I'm looking forward in this Australian attack is the 2 wrist spinners bowling in tandem today. Adam Zampart relatively had a quiet game in the last one. Tanvir Sangha bowls much quicker than Zampart. Will probably love the conditions out there. It's a slow pitch. Nicely played, no short, fine legs, very fine. Shauna, but from square leg does the job. Smart batting by Nishan Madhuska. Not all about 4s and 6s, collecting those 1s and 2s, which is important to get that 230, 240 we spoke about.
How close was it to those gloves? I think. Oh yeah, it went between his hands, between his gloves. He couldn't react quickly, understandable. He would have been blinded a little bit as it was down the leg side, but sometimes these get stuck.
Picking was good, but the execution could have been better by Nishan Madhuska. Definitely went through the gloves that wanted much squarer than finer, Nishan. He deserves the luck. Playing a game after a while. Certainly for a batter, when you get through the initial threat of the fast bowlers with the new ball, Nishan Madhuska for me deserves a bit of luck, and that occasion I thought he had it.
Sure, I think he's been invested on by Sri Lanka cricket, and he's had a pretty decent test career, lost his test place, but I think he's good enough to be playing at this level, so when he gets the opportunity, I believe he needs to try and grab those opportunities. Yeah, a bit of luck coming your way is good. Now, this has been sensible. They've got 6 runs already off 5 balls without too much of a risk, barring that one that went through the gloves. Bounced a bit, that bounced a bit, that held in the pitch. Well done, 49 for 1.
इतनी मेहनत के बाद खाना अच्छा होना तो बनता है। मेहनत का फल वीबा होता है।
Life tastes better with Viva. Going off financially risky, play responsibly.
Well, we've been telling you that it's a more cautious, watchful approach by Sri Lanka. They're going at little over 4 runs and over. 6 4s and a 6. May not suggest that they're cautious, but Dot's 48. And in the last game at the corresponding stage, they were 4 down. 44 for 4 they were, but here they're looking better. They're looking solid. 49 for 1. They're building a platform.
The game plan for the 2 batters in the middle is quite different. Kusal Mendes will play the anchor role, try and back deep into the innings, as he's very good against wrist spin over the years. Nishan Madhuska, I feel he should just carry on the way he started. Be free flowing. If he's in his arc, he should go for it.
Interesting to watch the areas they're looking to attack Madhuska, which is just outside the off stump with the seam. They've just continued to probe around that off stump or just outside when the faster bowlers are on. Again, you could see that just a little bit back into the right hander, but the length meters back of a length and maybe 5th stump. That appears to be the line that the fast bowlers are after.
For Nishan Madhuska, 5th stump can be 6th stump as well because he opens up the offside, staying leg side at the crease. So this is where Sean Abbott got to be a little careful, not trying to go way outside the off stump. That's bread and butter for Nishan Madhuska. And I like the fact he's hitting the deck hard on the back of the length, as you said, making sure no width has been given. I'm sure that Australians have done their homework well. With Nishan not giving any width. And certainly is an attacking option is to bowl wicket to wicket in a pitch where he's keeping slightly lower.
Oh, that's a good bouncer. That is a good bouncer. He pulled out of the way.
I tell you what, that took a lot of effort to get that height in slow surface. Banged it hard. Good effort by Sean Abbott. Very good cricket. Just reminding the batsman it's not going to be only in the length. A bouncer is imminent.
Driving, but can't get past mid-off. 5 dots at the moment.
On paper, Australian side looks much more stronger, Roshan, for me, with Glenn Maxwell, Travis Head, all these players who have been in the Australian one-day setup for a long time. He'll enjoy the fact that he can bowl a bit, he can take some turn. Certainly, 2 of the star players are back and much more strong Australia today.
"50's up for Sri Lanka. 13 overs done, it's 50 for 1.
Why do we play poker? We play for the moments that define us, for the stare downs, the deep breaths, and the silence before the call. For the hands we let go, and the ones we can't. And finally, to conquer, not just the tables, but ourselves. So we ask you, are you ready to play your hand? Download the PokerBazi app now.
This game may be habit-forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
Chinese? Yes, please.
It's a good-looking scorecard so far. Madhuska 28, Hengis 16, 50 was up after of the last ball of that last over. The partnership steady, 35 of 45. That's a good-looking batting lineup to come. Even the last game, Sri Lanka needed support, but otherwise, it looked a good side, plenty of experience. Right, this man comes with a reputation. I know he's been spoken of very highly when he first appeared on that cricketing scene in Australia. He's made giant strides. He's got into the national setup. But Tanvir Sangha starts off with a bit of a drag down, but wrist spinners are always, they are your go-to bowlers. They are your wicket-taking options. Just look around the world, Maha, especially in the shortest of formats. How good have wrist spinners been?
Teams like England, Australia have done over the years very well because of wrist spinners have been performing well. Quite busy, Tanvir Sangha. Gives a real rip. Nice eye-arm action, follow through as well. Comes with a big reputation, as you said. Was unlucky in the BPL, was injured for a while. Oh, big turner. There are 3 wrist spinners in display today, including Manindra Hasaranga. They'll be licking their lips, especially Zampa and Manindra Hasaranga, looking at the last delivery.
We know about the wrist rotation of a wrist spinner, so he will put in extra revs on the ball. That one went like a top, didn't it? It turned a lot. The thing was, the pitch, the length was a bit short, so allowed the batter to get on the back foot, so he had time to negotiate. But with that kind of revs on the ball, you drop it on a good area, you're in business.
Also on a turning track, the one goes with the arm, targeting the stumps, and the bat becomes a real threat just like that. But that's the challenge what the batters will be facing today, including the Australian side. And this is where it's very important as batters. Whoever gets a start, that's the hardest part. Go and get a good one, a big one. Do not give it easily.
Plays it late and gets a single. 55 for 1.
Why do we play poker? We play for the moments that define us, for the stare downs, the deep breaths, and the silence before the call. For the hands we let go, and the ones we can't. And finally, to conquer not just the tables, but ourselves. So we ask you, are you ready to play your hand? Download the PokerBazi app now.
This game may be habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
55 for 1, 14 overs bowled, a partnership building for Sri Lanka, 40 or 51, so somewhat a foundation set. It's going to be spin from both ends. Where's Simon Katic? Simon, this is Ravi Bofara. I am Russell.
Morning to all our viewers. Yeah, double spin. The introduction of another leg spinner. It's been a solid start from the Sri Lankan batsman. Very watchful. Hasn't been the easiest wicket. Free flowing, scoring. It's been difficult.
More spin will be used today compared to a couple of days ago.
Absolutely. I was just mentioning about the wicket. The lack of pace and bounce in this wicket hasn't made it easy for free-flowing shots, but it's certainly taking more turn than it did the other day.
Nicely bowled. As the cracks are slightly wider, you know, when there's wear and tear creeping in. The traffic, batters, bowlers, nails of the boots into those corners, and there'll be more crumbling. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I certainly feel it's going to get more and more difficult to bat on as the day goes on, with the sun beating down, dry. As you said, the wear and tear of the batters running up and down the wicket, the bowlers running on the wicket as well. I think a 250 score, very, very challenging score.
Oh, I'll be very happy with 250 if you can get there, but it's about building an innings. Steve Smith at the toss said, no, would like to build on partnership, batters who are in to go on. And that's what you need, especially in these conditions, in the slower conditions. When you get used to it, it's easier to maneuver the ball into wet and spaces. That moth distracted me, but not Kusal Mendes though.
Oh, nice. Hit him, Coop! A little bit of a better start from Zampa from the previous game. He struggled with the previous game, a lot of full deliveries. Couldn't quite find his rhythm.
None for 32. Nicely worked. Now this is what you need to do. Hit the gaps. They got 5 runs. That's what you do. You steal runs. 60 for 1.
इतनी मेहनत के बाद खाना अच्छा होना तो बनता है मेहनत का फल वीबा होता है
Life tastes better with Viva. Habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
There is a breeze, but I promise you it's not a cool breeze like down in Gaul. Well, did that moth appear from Zampa's hand? Nah. Just flying across at just the right time. No one's gonna see that, is it?
No, I don't think the batsman can spot that. I mean, if you can spot the moth, then you're not watching the ball.
Oh, there we go. A lot of batters do say that they can see the scene, which way it's turning. Well, I never could. Were you one of those?
I certainly do look at the seam and the rotation of the ball.
You can see it out of the bowler's head,
Well,
or when it's
more,
halfway.
I think it's more when it's halfway down. Especially in day games, I think it's easier to spot. It's when you move into the evening games, the lights are on. You've got the glare of the lights on the ball. It becomes a lot harder to read the rotations of the ball. Then you have to read it from the hand, which is why these leg spinners and these wrist spinners are so effective in the night. It's much harder to read. Oh, nice, Zhang.
It's an interesting commentary. Much harder to read off the hand, the variations coming at you. But you back that leg spinner to be getting more of the drier pitch than in the night where there's moisture, isn't it? Or the coolness.
Agree. I think the difficult thing about facing the wrist spinners. Oh, nice, Zhang. That's a good line there. Is I don't think necessarily the turn. It's more about picking them, because any late decisions, any indecisive movements you make with your feet, they can spin it both ways.
Nicely played. Work to do for Dwashes. 50 partnership between Madhushka and Kusal Mendes. It's 65 for 1 after 16.
यहाँ एक्सीडेंट हो गया और इनका फोटो सेशन चल रहा है। ये नहीं कि पहले हेल्प मंगाओ।
क्लेम प्रोसेस स्टार्ट हो गया है। देखो हेल्प भी आ गई।
कार इंश्योरेंस हो लेना तो एको चेक कर लेना।
खाना पकाना या बर्तन धोना, दोनों क्यों नहीं? स्कॉच ब्राइट स्क्रब स्पॉन्ज में है 3M स्टेन कटर टेक्नोलॉजी। बेहतरीन झाग, जिद्दी और चिकनी दाग के लिए, और स्पॉन्ज जो दे मजबूत पकड़। अब पकाओ मजेदार, जब स्कॉच ब्राइट से मिले सफाई असरदार।
Life tastes better with Viva.
50 of 63. It's been a good one. It's about setting the foundation right. Your thoughts, Ravi?
Absolutely. I think as the day goes on, it'll get more and more difficult to bat. And one thing you always got to think of as a set batsman is it's always going to be difficult for the new batsman to come in. Especially on these type of surfaces where there isn't particularly much bounce, there isn't much pace. We're seeing turn now. So if you do feel under pressure as the man out there, it's always good to think, well, the next batsman is going to find it even more difficult. It's going to be harder for him to start.
Early wicket, Australia were dotting it up. And then Mendes joined Madhushka.
Yeah, these two have been solid. It's been a great start. The Australian spinners I thought bowled excellently. And then the Sri Lankan batsmen really took to the spinners. They've scored freely off the spinners. Even though there is turn in the pitch, they've played it really, really well.
Putting the pressure on the spinners, giving them something to think of rather than allowing them to settle in. Now that you've got a head start, don't look for too much. 3, 4, 4, 5 and over for a while. That's how you maximize this partnership.
And it's getting used to the spinners as well as they go on into their third and fourth overs. Start getting an idea of their pace that they're bowling, how much turn the pitch is taking, and it will get easier for the set batsmen, especially. But will be difficult for the new batsmen, I think.
Even though the bowler at certain times finds something out of the pitch, or you find a favorable pitch, you'd still feel some pressure if a partnership is building.
You do as a bowler. You know, at some point you know they're going to come for you. Obviously with these rules, where you got to have 5 men in the circle, there's always one place you can hit the ball for a boundary. And that's the worry for a lot of spinners in 50 over cricket.
Nicely bowled. More on that in the next over. 66 for 1.
यहाँ एक्सीडेंट हो गया और इनका फोटो सेशन चल रहा है। ये नहीं कि पहले हेल्प मंगाओ।
क्लेम प्रोसेस स्टार्ट हो गया है। देखो हेल्प भी आ गई।
कार इंश्योरेंस हो लेना तो एको चेक कर लेना।
The unspoken language of love.
Habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
Going back to that point with the extra man in the circle, now 5 men in the circle, there's always that one place that the batsman can target for a boundary, which can release a lot of the pressure. It's always there on the bowler's mind. With mid-on gone back now and square leg coming up, there's that gap now in mid-wicket. Huge gap out in mid-wicket, huge gap behind square for a sweep.
And he's trying to use that deep square leg fielder, trying to create that angle to cover both gaps you're talking about.
And that's it, and that's difficult. It's not easy to cover both gaps, especially when you've got set batsmen who have got the pace of the pitch, have got the bounce of the pitch. It's a lot easier for them guys to come in and manipulate the ball into areas like that for boundaries.
Tanvir Sangha, 2 ODIs. Prior to this, a best of 1 for 67, 2 wickets in his career. His dad from Jalandhar, Punjab, India. Bowling in tandem with Zampa. Slightly different, leg break bowlers, but slightly different. Oh, top shot, top shot. Lovely little drop kick, and it beats the fielder. It teased Maxwell all the way.
Classy shot that, inside out. So easy on the eye, one of my favourite shots. It always shows a bit of class that we can go over extra. Another huge gap out there. It's been a fantastic start from the Sri Lankan batsman here.
He uses that bottom hand to scoop it. That back leg also going leg side to create the angle of the body. 44 balls since the last boundary was hit.
Just going to that, talking about the 2 leggies here. Sangha with a higher arm action than Zampa. Have a look here. Just see Sangha there with a higher release point than Zampa, which suggests he should have a nice googly, which will turn. Zampa may get a bit more spin, but they're both pretty high.
The front arm used differently. Zampa pulling it into his side. Sangha slightly across. Gets a bit more spin though. 74 for 1.
इतनी मेहनत के बाद खाना अच्छा होना तो बनता है। मेहनत का फल वीबा होता है।
Life tastes better with Viva.
एको चेक कर लेना।
Top averages in Asia. In a country, spinners since in ODI since 2022. Zampa. Economy 24.61 is average. Very successful day-night cricket we're talking about. Bowls wicket to wicket. Gives the batter nothing. Not a big turner though.
No, not a huge turner, but his release point's quite low, which means he drives the ball into the pitch. It can be really difficult to get away at times when he drives it. He doesn't get a lot of bounce, you see, so it's difficult to pull and cut him at times, which really works in his favour, so he can drive the ball into that length, that slightly back of a length, Adil Rashid there as well, 26 wickets, an average of 25. For me, Adil Rashid, for me, he's probably the best leg spinner in the world. Highly skilled, he's got a lot of variations, slow leggy, he's got the quick leggy, he's got the googlies, the flippers, he's got every delivery up his sleeve. And he's good in any conditions. English conditions, Asian conditions. Of course, likes bowling at Virat Kohli. One of the best one-day players of all time.
Wrist spinners up there. We were talking about wrist spinners being hard to pick. They have more variations. A finger spinner, you'd expect more control. But if you have a wrist spinner, you use him because the wicket taker. Good shot. Mid-on in the circle. Right up to him. Kusal Mendes hits through the line.
That's what we talked about earlier, where there's always that one man up with the extra man in the circle. There's always that gap which you can get through. Wouldn't necessarily be in a boundary if the mid-on was back, but because he's up, he only needs to get it through.
He picked the wrong and back of the hand, and that's why he went towards mid-on. Oh, lucky, very lucky, and it's gonna hurt Zampa. Just the two, Sangha doing well. 19 bowled, 82 for 1.
Why do we play poker? We play for the moments that define us, for the stare downs, the deep breaths, and the silence before the call. For the hands we let go, and the ones we can't. And finally, to conquer, not just the tables, but ourselves. So we ask you, are you ready to play your hand? Download the Pokerbazi app now.
This game may be habit-forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
सेंट्रम मानो ये जार है आपके डेली न्यूट्रिशन की जरूरत। ये आपका ब्रेकफास्ट, लंच, डिनर और ये गैप ही है आपका न्यूट्रिशन गैप। मैं सेंट्रम मल्टीविटामिन्स रोज लेने की सलाह देता हूँ, जो इस गैप को पूरा करने में मदद करे। इसके प्लांट बेस्ड बोटैनिकल विटामिन्स एंड मिनरल्स दे आपको एनर्जी, इम्यूनिटी, स्ट्रॉन्ग बोन्स एंड मोर। आई ट्रस्ट सेंट्रम।
Why do we play poker? We play for the moments that define us, for the stare downs, the deep breaths, and the silence before the call. For the hands we let go, and the ones we can't. And finally, to conquer, not just the tables, but ourselves. So we ask you, are you ready to play your hand? Download the Pokerbazi app now.
This game may be habit-forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
इतनी मेहनत के बाद खाना अच्छा होना तो बनता है। मेहनत का फल वीबा होता है।
Life tastes better with Viva.
Where is it?
It's there.
MC muesli, mozzarella, maple syrup, multani mitti, माँ का आशीर्वाद, milk. Whatever's on your mind, get it in 10 minutes on Swiggy Instamart.
Shaving discomfort? Never again. My Gillette Mark III has 3 facial adaptive blades that give a shave so comfortable, it feels like floating.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
Gillette Mark III, zero effort shaving.
No matter what it feels like in goal. Beautiful coastlines and nestled on those beautiful beaches is Radisson Collection Resort. Welcome Welcome to the exceptional. In a lovely part of the world, Ravi. Take you down there. You might want to play all your cricket. Go. Nissanka gone for 6, Madhushka's on 44, Mendes on 32. They're looking good together. The partnership growing in confidence.
Absolutely, Madhushka doing the bulk of the scoring, 44 for 55. That's how Mendes has started really well. He's played that supportive role, but he's kept the scoring going, which is very, very important. Key that he doesn't get tied up at one end and put the pressure on Madhushka. And Madhushka's found the boundaries at the right time, just to release the pressure, which is very, very important. It just means everybody in the dressing room, in the dugouts, can relax, set a good base for the last 25 overs.
Cautious and Hardy were good with the new ball. Abbott using his variations as well, but the spinners have not been allowed to settle down. Now Kusal Mendes, just looking at his technique, Australia tried to use that corridor and have him poking at it. Time and time again, we've seen that happen. Glenn Maxwell replaces the leg spin of Tanvir Sangha. Glenn Maxwell didn't play the first one of the 5 changes Australia have made for this game.
Yeah, surprising he didn't play the first game. Not sure if he's carrying a little injury. Been a little bit gingerly in the field for Maxwell. He's normally very, very quick and a little bit slow around the field. Maybe he's carrying a slight niggle. Want to protect him for the Champions Trophy.
That what you call experience as well. Pace yourself out.
Yeah, you could call it experience. I think Maxwell will get good purchase out of this pitch. He bowls that a little bit slower. He does put good purchase on the ball. Good action for off spin. Clever bowler.
Usually, when you take the Australian attack, when Maxwell comes and helps out with a few overs, if you let him get away with a few overs, you find yourself in trouble because others are quality bowlers. If at all a weakling, as a batting team, you'd say to yourself, Maxwell has to go. He cannot be allowed to bowl too many overs.
But I think it's dangerous to probably see him as a weakling. I think he's a little bit better than that. He does have a lot of skill, having bowled in a lot of tough conditions in the IPL. He has to bowl where it is difficult.
That's safe.
It's just showing that his turn and bounce there, which the Sri Lankan bowlers will be licking their lips, the spinners.
But Ravi, if you do not target one bowler in the opposition team, where's your 275 gonna come from? When they're packed with the good ones.
Yeah, I think so. There is Sangha, who's inexperienced. There's somebody that they can target. And later on, the seamers that they can tuck into as well. I don't think it's going to be as easy just to get hold of Maxwell here. He does have good control on the ball and he's smart with his variations.
Oh, nice, Max.
86 for 1 of 20.
Why do we play poker? We play for the moments that define us, for the stare downs, the deep breaths, and the silence before the call. For the hands we let go, and the ones we can't. And finally, to conquer, not just the tables, but ourselves. So we ask you, are you ready to play your hand? Download the PokerBazi app now.
This game may be habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly. Habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
20 overs bowled, 7 bowlers used. Trying to give his bowlers opportunities as well to bring out different variations that might be useful.
I think that the spinners have got a big role to play here. They've got to take wickets. That's what Australia will be relying on. 2 wrist spinners in the attack today.
Oh, nice, Sylvie.
They'll be looking at those 2 guys to pick up wickets. It's important in 50-over cricket to keep taking wickets throughout. Otherwise, it does get very easy for the batsman.
It's taken the slip away. 2 fielders on the drive. Poor length. Not the length Steve Smith was asking from Zampa.
Fantastic shot that. It's a typical shot of a Sri Lankan. Play it late, cut it behind, point. We see time and time again with Asian players, they cut the ball behind and find that boundary instead of cutting the ball in front and finding the fielder out in the deep. They're able to use their skill and play late, take it almost off the keeper's gloves before.
Smith reacts, gets 2 fielders now behind square, 1 on the drive.
Oh, nice. Back there, it's okay.
Over it, very good, Ravi. 19 in the first hour and 10. Usually teams get through 14, 15.
Yeah, with the introduction of spin early, I think the spin came in the 9th over.
Oh, nice moving, Eddie.
I mean, I do love the way the cut of the spinner is played. There's a Valentine's Day message there.
Will marry this year. This year her name? Well, we wish him luck.
Almost forgot that it's Valentine's Day today. Good reminder to anyone out there.
You're in trouble. Good luck to you too. Get out of that one then. Oh, another lovely shot. 2 boundaries in the over. This one, a shot of real quality. 94 for 1 now.
मजा आ गया यही गड्डी लेनी है
और इंश्योरेंस कहाँ से लेना?
What a question. शोरूम से.
और कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं है सर कोई जबरदस्ती है क्या
कोई जबरदस्ती नहीं है. डायरेक्ट एक्ो से लो और 36,000 तक बचो.
The unspoken language of loving surprises.
Life tastes better with Viva.
A solid start by Sri Lanka so far. 94 for 1 in 21 overs at the rate of 4.48. Just what the doctor ordered as far as Sri Lanka winning the toss, batting first. In decent conditions out there. The pitch has behaved so well. And this was an example. The pitch is really good. Against the turn. Down in the circle. Nice high elbow. Beautiful by Kusal Mendis. Once he gets a start in these conditions, Simon, the player that he likes to back deep. As I say, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Favez. Yes, this is a beautiful shot. Glorious shot. Full face of the bat. Didn't try and hit it too hard, so got the elevation he wanted and guided it beautifully over mid-on.
Shot again. Big gap between deep mid-wicket and deep square leg. And nicely found by Kusal Mendis.
And he's dangerous against spin because of shots like this. Maxwell, he knows he's going into the surface. Picked that up beautifully. Board of square leg, straight over that man who's in the circle.
Shot again. Almost similar area, but this time the length was slightly shorter and brings up the 50 for Kusal Mendis. He's 22nd in his career and 10th at the R. Premdas Stadium, including brings up the 100 for Sri Lanka.
In good time too. Run a ball. Very good partnership here with Madushka, giving Sri Lanka very good momentum in this innings now. Maxwell's not quite sure what to do, so he comes over the wicket now.
The first boundary was Fuller, had no intention to keep it on the ground. You correctly said over square leg, almost like a drop kick. The second boundary was slightly shorter, again no intention to keep it lower. That was the second boundary and bottom of the 50 as well. Kusal Mendes, who's quite consistent in ODI cricket. Definitely, once he gets a start, he's a player who loves to go and get a big one. Rightly so, applauded by his teammates in the dugout. Ten runs from that over from Maxwell. It's 104 for 1.
यहाँ एक्सीडेंट हो गया और इनका फोटो सेशन चल रहा है। ये नहीं कि पहले हेल्प मंगाओ।
क्लेम प्रोसेस स्टार्ट हो गया है। देखो हेल्प भी आ गई।
कार इंश्योरेंस हो लेना तो एको चेक कर लेना।
खाना पकाना या बर्तन धोना, दोनों क्यों नहीं? स्कॉच ब्राइट स्क्रब स्पॉन्ज में है 3M स्टेन कटर टेक्नोलॉजी। बेहतरीन झाग, जिद्दी और चिकनी दाग के लिए, और स्पॉन्ज जो दे मजबूत पकड़। अब पकाओ मजेदार, जब स्कॉच ब्राइट से मिले सफाई असरदार।
Exclusively on Sony Live.
51 of 52 deliveries, including 7 fours. Very good. With the initial storm with the new ball, the after the wicket of Srilanka. Since then, rest is history. Some beautiful shots. Yours been quite lucky, got outside edge, went for the boundary. Against the turn against Adam Zampa. Shot through the offside. That's probably the shot of the day. Nice high elbow against the turn over long on. A couple of boundaries in the last over. Change the bowling for Australia. Big Ben Dwashers who bowled 4 overs for 13 runs. Impressive with the new ball. And like this move, just to change things up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. This is Mendes' 50. Both sides strong on the leg side, and look at those couple straight down the ground. So, you know that if he gets width, he likes the offside. But I like this move by Steve Smith. He had to change things up and get a seamer back on to try and knock Mendes over.
Coming round the wicket, Dwashers, probably worried about bowling over the wicket, creating an angle outside the yaw stump, creating width. Not helpful conditions. Yes, looked really good. 4.2 overs, 14 runs. Quite unlucky with the new ball, not pick up a wicket. Australia going forward certainly has 2 left-arm fast bowlers apart from Mitchell Starc to look into. Spencer Johnson, impressive. Big question, Simon. Who's going to get the nod the first game in the Champions Trophy? I reckon only one seamer can play the left-arm seamers. Beaten. Was it a cutter? Generally beaten outside the yaw stump.
Yeah, that was beautifully bowled. Just 128 Ks this one. Just rolls the fingers down slightly. But I like this plan of attack from around the wicket and not giving Madushka any sort of width. He's shown already today he's been cut in half a few times and he loves to square cut. Yeah, just going back to your question around who gets the nod in the first game of the Champions Trophy, well, much could depend on how Dwashers goes today. Coming in good form, experienced cricketer, he offers a bit with the bat as well, so he's got that all-round package, very good fielder, got a rocket arm, so he can put his hand up today for Steve Smith. He could well win the nod over Spencer Johnson in Pakistan.
Blessed and spoiled with all-round abilities. This Australian side, isn't it? But Aaron Hardy, very good with the bat, with the ball the other day. I feel in Pakistan, 2 seamers and an all-rounder going forward.
Well, I think in those conditions, in the flatter conditions, one of the questions will be, given that Mitchell Starc's out, is who's going to bowl the important overs at the death. So that could well be where what we see today gives Dwashers a chance.
Irish delivery, slap towards the car point for a single to end the 23rd over. 107.
चिकन 60 यार बना
जरूर घर में फिलिप्स एयर फ्रायर होगा। सिर्फ इसी में है 2 लेयर बास्केट और स्टारफिश डिजाइन जो दे परफेक्ट कुकिंग और ढेरों डिशेस। So what's new on the menu? Innovation and you, Phillips.
खाना पकाना या बर्तन धोना, दोनों क्यों नहीं? स्कॉच ब्राइट स्क्रब स्पॉन्ज में है 3M स्टेन कटर टेक्नोलॉजी। बेहतरीन झाग, जिद्दी और चिकनी दाग के लिए, और स्पॉन्ज जो दे मजबूत पकड़। अब पकाओ मजेदार, जब स्कॉच ब्राइट से मिले सफाई असरदार।
Habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
Good run rate being maintained by Sri Lanka. 4.65. Lost the wicket of Pathum Nissanka in the 6th over. But since then, Madushka and Mendes have made sure that a consistent building's been built. Spoke about score of 230, 240. I feel this pitch at the moment very good for Barry. This is where Kusal Mendes' wicket is going to be very crucial for Australia.
I think today's a different platform altogether. 4 wickets were lost in the first 6 overs the other day for Sri Lanka, whereas now, only having lost 1 nearly at the halfway mark of this innings, setting things up nicely for the back end. The Australian quicks will get tested more today in the death overs than in the first ODI. So in a way, Australia will be happy with that situation anyway.
Turn and bounce. Ball turned from outside the off stump, and that's why I think Ruchirapalli Guruge gives a benefit of the doubt to Glenn Maxwell.
Yeah, this really grips. Sharp turn here for Maxwell. Good bounce as well.
Paddle sweep. Here's the opportunity to get back to the second run. Gets his 50. And Nishan Madhusar comes back. Very well paced innings. 50 of 65 deliveries. Second half century in his young career. Just the third innings. Remember, he made a 50 on his debut against West Indies in Pallakali.
Yeah, nice start for the youngster, Madushka. Start to his career there. It's 4 matches against this Australian team today. A couple of nervy moments early on with the ball cutting him in half, but otherwise since then he's shown very good determination.
Tell you what, the selectors and the management of the Sri Lankan side will be happy. Especially that they took a gamble in giving just 1 chance to Abhishek Fernando, dropping him and bringing Nishan Madhuskar into a crunch game, make or break, a win series against Australia. The young man has come good, really well composed, and now job is half done. Shot again, has to be a couple of runs in front of square, comes back easily. Kusal Mendes. Maxwell has been on the expensive side. He runs in 2.5 overs. Just feel he hasn't found the length right yet. Either it's been too short or too full. And Kusal Mendes again spin. He wants to be busy.
Well, he's a hard man to bowl to. We saw the previous over a couple of boundaries down low and helping the ball over square leg.
6 runs from that over, 113 for 1.
Why do we play poker? We play for the moments that define us, for the stare downs, the deep breaths, and the silence before the call, for the hands we let go and the ones we can't, and finally, to conquer not just the tables, but ourselves. So we ask you, are you ready to play your hand? Download the PokerBazi app now.
This game may be habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
Chinese? Yes, please.
Been magnificent. Partnering with Kusal Mendes, who has been the senior partner. Continuing to ushers round the wicket and creating that angle away from the right-hander. From the first ball, this man has been in superb form.
Yeah, square of the wicket. He looks like he loves some width. Tucking it down nicely to fine leg. This was a glorious shot off Matt Short early on. And his decision to go down late just hammered him over mid-off.
Comes down the track. Look at the bounce. off mid-on both in the circle. That's why Nishan Madhuska was tempted to go over the top, but I thought Dwashers was equal to the task. Probably saw him coming down, which is slightly shorter.
And I think the crucial thing here for Dwashers is he's not trying to give too much of the stumps away here from around the wicket. He's trying to cramp up Madushka as much as possible, but also mindful that he knows mid-off and mid-on are up in the ring.
Also after this knock, I'm sure bat sponsors around the world will be keeping a close eye on Nishan Madhuska's bat, and sponsors will be lining up.
Yeah, best way to advertise. Go and make a big score and people will come knocking.
But some good plays though since Simon Curtis. Remember bowling to you at the IPL and some international matches. The 2.8 flew away along into the hands, and I'm sure the third umpire will be called. A bounce attempted, well directed. And Nishan Madhuska did not have any hesitation to whether to keep it down or up. He wants to go up and get that 6. Adam Zampa is quite confident running in, and the umpires want to check upstairs.
Direct the third umpire, when umpire review for fair catch. It's fair risk. Go to your first angle of the catch, please. Thank you. Yeah, he's still inside there. Keep going. He's released the ball. I can't see the pad moving at that stage. There's another angle. Stage, no movement of the pad. Okay, thank you. Going. Still inside there. Still inside there. He's released it. Keep going, keep going. Spear at this stage. Keep going till he's got the ball back in hand. Yes, thank you. I'm ready to make my decision for the big screen.
Cool as a cucumber, Adam Zampa. Under pressure, he knew where exactly the boundary rope was, or the cushion. He made sure, under pressure, he'll hold on to a very important catch of Nishan Madhuska. Was really good. Bouncer and went for a big one. He's gone. Madhuska gone 51 of 70, Sri Lanka 113 for 2.
Why do we play poker? We play for the moments that define us. For the stare downs, the deep breaths, and the silence before the call. For the hands we let go, and the ones we can't. And finally, to conquer, not just the tables, but ourselves. So we ask you, are you ready to play your hand? Download the PokerBazi app now.
This game may be habit-forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
K. Mendes joined by another K. Mendes. Kamida Mendes this time at number 4. Average almost touching 30. Those numbers will improve. As of 64 at the age of 26. And he's here because Nishan Madhuska was the last man to go for a wonderful catch.
Look at this, right on the money from Ben Dwashers. Gets up towards the head region. Cramped, not a lot of width. To get that ball where he wanted it to go. Goes straight down to fine leg where Zampa took it nicely.
Off the mark straight away, Kamida Mendes. It was a slow ball bounce attempted by Dwashers, and I thought it was Nishan Madhuska was undone by the lack of pace. A little too early to the stroke. Yes, no hesitation whether he wants to go for a 6. Scoring a 50, was confident. Had to go Adam Zampa, which he failed, and a good catch under pressure. And exactly where the boundary cushion was. We've seen it before as well from Adam Zampa. Safe field indeed. couple of runs and the big wicket of Nishan Madhuska from that over. Halfway done, 115 for 2.
Shaving discomfort? Never again. My Gillette Mark III has 3 facial adaptive blades that give a shave so comfortable. It feels like floating. Gillette, the best a man can get. Gillette Mark III, zero effort shaving.
Or financially risky. Play responsibly.
Srilanka Leenage, Vellalage and Hasaranga at number 8. Plenty of batting to come for Sri Lanka. From here onwards, get 5 runs per over. They can get to 240, and I believe if Sri Lanka don't get to 260, they'll be very unhappy after the start what Madhuska and Kusal Mendis has given to Sri Lanka. Ben Maxwell will continue. Seems that could have had the option of bringing Tanvi Sangha. Since it's coming to Mendis at the non-strikers, then I feel he's continuing.
Yeah, agreed. I think with the left-hander out there now, both Maxwell and Matt Short will have roles to play.
Almost putting it back to his own stumps. It's a good shot. Nicely timed, but the placement, Kusal Mendis get it right, but the shot was right. Made sure with the bounce, he rose with the bounce and kept it on the ground. This was quite close as well. Want to tap it back to Josh English. Almost tapped it back to his own stumps. Oh, sees the funny side now, Maxwell. Slip in place for Kamila Mendis, rightly so. Some turn available for the yaw spinner. Score arms going with the arm. Mendis brought the bat down in time.
Last wicket, Madhuska ending a 98-run partnership. Love how Steve Smith went about it. He sensed that the spinners were getting a little bit too predictable. They were comfortable. Changed things up, brought Dwarshuis on, and this is what he did. Came round the wicket and tried to cramp Madhuska, going in and around the top of that off stump, and then the wicket ball, getting it up nice and high from around the wicket. Couldn't free his hands, guided it straight down to fine leg. So very good piece of bowling and execution by Dwarshuis, but also great captaincy from Steve Smith, just to change things up to get that breakthrough.
Yeah, 100%. Most of the time when nothing happens, you just want to change the rhythm of the game by bringing the fast bowler. A couple of overs, get the job done. And exactly what Steve Smith did, even in the test matches. Quite proactive, very busy, always thinking. And not letting the batters de-settle down. Uppish, but in the gap.
Yeah, he has a very good feel for the flow of the game and the tempo of the game, and he senses when those two are looking comfortable against the off spin of Maxwell and then the leg spin of Zanger and Zampa. That's the beauty of having the balanced team that he's got with the quicks at his disposal.
3 runs from that over, 118 for 2.
You didn't get it?
Ese aloo, avocado, almonds, adrak, akbar, apple. Whatever's on your mind, get it in 10 minutes on Swiggy Instamart.
Chinese? Yes, please.
118 for 2, Kusal Mendis, Kamila Mendis to rebuild. And this is something on Kusal Mendis. Simon Karish, over to you.
Yeah, we've seen in the first ODI, and this is against Spencer Johnson, just squaring up Kusal Mendis. So both hips open and looking straight back down the wicket at the bowler. And part of that is because, I mentioned it earlier today, you look at his back foot at times, it doesn't anchor it. It doesn't get back and across. It's still in the air when he makes contact with the ball. This is a great example, the dismissal. Back foot still in the air. So there's a little bit of indecision with his front foot, and then as a result, he starts squaring up with his hips as soon as his head starts to go at the line of the ball. So a little technical thing that no doubt he'll be working on with the batting coach. Got through that initial phase today against the new ball. He didn't in game one, but it's been damaging against spin later on.
Good shot by Kamidu. Pitch is shot by Shauna, but probably wanted to bowl the bounce, just did not get up. Front of square, a couple of runs. Just on Kusal Mendis, that has been his downfall for a while now. Simon, and I feel the first 10 deliveries he faces, if he gets through that initial period, it's a far better player and the field starts moving much more. Again, spin, it's one of the best going around in Sri Lanka. It's a moving ball. The initial 10 to 15 deliveries is his battle. If he gets through that, with all the shots in the books, his score runs very well.
And I don't think it's a huge fix at all. I just think it's a case of him getting in the nets with the batting coach and just grooving that back foot movement to really anchor the back foot. When I mean anchor it, is actually get back in the crease, potentially across to off stump, and really anchor it to the ground. At the moment, he's still like a little bit tentative and he's not really putting it back and across as far as he needs to be. So he's more stable.
Stop by Shauna, but coming round the wicket, hitting the deck hard and not giving any width. Coming the Mendis is looking for.
Yeah, I think Australia have sensed that this is a wicket where you've got to bowl stump to stump. Make sure that the batsmen can't free their hands too much, because we've seen a number of boundaries today, square of the wicket, just a bit too much width. So Abbott doing the same here to Kamindu Mendis, as Ben Dwarshuis did to Madushka, coming around the wicket, just cramping him up.
Ball game, inside edge, trying to play on the up. Probably the slowness of the pitch was the undoing of Kamindu Mendis, and Shaun Abbott strikes for Australia.
Well, another breakthrough for Australia. Steve Smith just keeps ringing the changes beautifully here. On this occasion, he's trying to drive that on the up. Just held in the surface and came back at him off the seam. And Kamindu Mendis just drags that back onto his stumps. He departs for 4, and Sri Lanka now 121 for 3.
कर लेता हूँ।
ये दर्द हम जानते हैं, किराने पे तो नहीं पर स्टॉक्स पे जरूर मिल सकता है। Buy now and pay later with ICICI Direct Margin Trading Facility. अब पैसे की कमी की वजह से कोई भी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिस मत करो. Investments and securities are subject to market risk. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
Back-to-back wickets for Australia. First was Nishan Madhuska. The last, the left-handed Kamindu Mendis, who dragged down these stumps. Brings in the skipper. Most consistent player for Sri Lanka in the last couple of years. Run machine, Charita Sri Lanka. Fresh from his 100 from the last game. Bowled well, captain well, batted well. He's walking out there as a confident man.
The dismissal once again. Real lack of footwork there. That ball was wide enough, but getting into as powerful position as he would have liked there to get that through the cover region. But Sri Lanka, he was superb a couple of days ago in the first ODI. Magnificent 127 off just 126 balls. And this is a critical partnership now. Sri Lanka just faltering a little bit, losing 2 wickets in the last couple of overs.
Solid Charita Sri Lanka. 121 for 3.
I have to leave. बैंक में एक छोटा सा काम है.
अरे भाई साहब आजकल छोटे छोटे काम के लिए बैंक कौन जाता है?
You have any problem?
भाई तो मुझे नहीं आपको बार बार बैंक जाना पड़ता है ना. अब हम जहाँ बैंक वहाँ. IDFC फर्स्ट बैंक होगा
तो मोर मिलेगा.
Habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
Join Sri Lanka Cricket in supporting Clean Sri Lanka initiative by Sri Lanka government. Sri Lanka Cricket, we are committed to fostering a cleaner and more sustainable environment. In support of the Clean Sri Lanka initiative, we have placed ample garbage bins around the stadium for your convenience during the Australia tour of Sri Lanka. So Matthew Shaw been replacing Maxwell. Slightly surprised, new batter, new bowler straight away.
Oh no, I'm not surprised because I think Steve Smith has run the changes nicely in this last little period, but also Kusal Mendes has got a read on Maxwell now and he's been quite aggressive towards him, so I think just this change with Short, who's a little bit taller, probably slightly different pace, bowling 91 that first ball, but also having the right arm offie on early to Srilanka.
A couple of reasons why I asked you that question, Simon. It's 2 for 20. And I feel Ben Maxwell gives a bit of rip more than Matthew Short in this surface. Yes, the last couple of overs Maxwell have been expensive. But for me, against a player like Charita Srilanka, I would have opted for the experience. Short delivery, pump towards mid-wicket. Charita Srilanka gets off the mark in his third delivery.
Yeah, I think it's been a little bit tougher for Matthew Short today early on, but I think he bowled beautifully in the first ODI. And so Steve Smith will no doubt be trying to figure out where he's at with his bowling at this level and giving him an opportunity now. You know, I just wonder whether he also senses that at this point in time he's trying to see Steve Smith here. He's considering a referral here.
I thought the bat hit the ground. That was the noise. Josh Inglis wasn't sure, just wanted to have a chat with the captain and the bowler. Again, this was created by the angle and the length but Pratyush Shaw delivered that particular delivery. Trying to play late as possible, Kusal. Yeah, he hits the ground. Before that, it was there inside, outside edge, beg your pardon. Oh, Steve Smith for a second and shot. Look at thought he's in the game. Perfectly found the gap by Kusal.
Yeah, I was just about to say whether outside edge on this ball. All clean. But yeah, Steve Smith might be trying to lure Kusal Mendes in here to attack Matthew Short and just try and get that wicket to really open Sri Lanka up.
Oh, that's a nice.
Game of cat and mouse in the middle. 3 runs from that over, 124 for 3.
Horrifying period nights? Bloody real. So I switched to the best. Whisper Bindas nights. It's so much longer and wider. So leaks, zero chance. And you sleep as you like. Bindas. Whisper. Real periods, real solutions.
Life tastes better with Viva.
Well, Australia have come back strongly, particularly in the last 10 or 15 minutes. They've got 2 quick wickets close to each other, Madushka and Hamidu Mendes. But Sri Lanka should tell themselves that they're still looking quite good, 124 for 3. Kusal Mendes 62, and this man, Charita Srilanka, well, single-handedly made sure that Sri Lanka got some runs on the board and then led the side brilliantly. Got an important wicket. Ranks as one of his, in fact, he's the best knock in his ODI career. What an outstanding knock from Charita Srilanka that day. The first game, that is. This guy really good batting. Was went after the short ball, strong sweeps, played late. That's a very good wagon wheel where he got runs almost right round the wicket. This is excellent batting.
He waited for the ball to come into his zone. He loves that area from mid-on to long-on. That's where he breaks free. And most of his boundaries are in that direction. So under pressure, he was shielding Ishan Malinga. Created those opportunities with patience. Current rate 4.35. Foundation set, but a lot of work to do. Sri Lanka can easily lose their way here. But the new batter will not find it easy. Sri Lanka might have picked up just the 3 wickets only, but I think the bowling's been good. They've not been giving too much to hit. Don Abbott, all his experience, these conditions, he's been around for a while. Varying the pace, varying the length. Been good, tougher conditions for the seamers. They're showing that they can also do a job.
Just wondering whether the conditions are such that you should have a different kind of approach. Yeah, you're looking good, 125 for 3. Batting doesn't look difficult, but what's the approach? What kind of score do you think is right on this surface?
I still think it's 240 is the number that you needed, but from where they are at, these two need to make sure they're together at the 35th. Break it down into smaller targets. $125 for 3 after 29. Okay.
Chinese, पर अपने स्टाइल से, वैसे जैसे वॉक टॉक के नए इंस्टेंट नूडल्स, 5 डिफरेंट फ्लेवर्स, पर अपने स्टाइल से. Wok Talk, tasty Chinese? Yes, please.
Habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
Well, exciting development that's happening at the R. Premadasa Stadium, a state-of-the-art swimming pool, and a high-performance center, indoor nets, all being currently under construction. And cutting-edge facilities will naturally enhance the training standards and provide world-class amenities for all players. Now, the good news is they expect it to be completed in a couple of months, and also confirms that this is the confirmation of Sri Lanka cricket's commitment to strengthening the game in the country.
Throughout his first spell, he hardly gave any width. Hardy back for his second spell. Look, going back to building an innings, at this stage it's about those small targets. Sri Lanka cannot afford to lose another wicket. Then the pressure mounts. Accumulate for the next 6-7 overs. Mendy sitting at 89. It's okay for him to haul back in and start again, I would say. Last 5 overs in the second power play, maybe if you're feeling good about yourself and you're in some control, look to up the ante and take advantage of the field restrictions, because in the last 10 overs there'll be 5 fielders outside the circle and one more spot where you can search for a boundary will be blocked. And you assess where you want to go from there. If you can get to the 40th with 3 wickets down, then those last 10 overs you're easily looking at 80-90 runs. But it's a time where if you're not careful, you can easily be bowled out for 200, 210. Seen that happen, Roshan.
We have. Now, that last delivery, it was interesting. 130, early 130s, but it died as it went through to the keeper. I'm just wondering whether it's indicators, or it is an indication as to what is to come. He banged it into the pitch. Look at where he takes it. Just lobs to the keeper. Almost just tennis ball bounce. How do you think that would impact a batting unit going forward? You speak about 240 still being the speed that Sri Lanka should be after, but when you have delivery not really gathering pace, not going through, won't it be a concern for the team batting second?
Pitch will slow up. You just adjust your scoring options, the way you plan your innings, where you're looking for runs. You've got to be able to adjust. You're tested in a different way. Doesn't mean that you cannot score at all. That's bouncing over. Palyaguruge thinks so as well. The umpire is waiting for the clock to run down before he makes his signal. So we are waiting as well. No review. Yeah, 129 for 3.
Why do we play poker? We play for the moments that define us, for the stare downs, the deep breaths, and the silence before the call, for the hands we let go and the ones we can't, and finally, to conquer not just the tables, but ourselves. So we ask you, are you ready to play your hand? Download the PokerBaazi app now.
This game may be habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
Echo check kar lena.
129 for 3. Sri Lanka, they're left with 20 overs. Normally, in the years gone by, Russell, teams would double their score at 30 and maybe assume this is what we will end up at. So, on that count, 258, 260. That'd be a good score here if they can get there.
They can double it. They'll be very confident of defending it with the 3 spinners in their ranks. Last ball of last over. But was given to the bat. Not sure there's any bat on it, but now for the second time, Sri Lanka tried to play the pull shot and the ball hasn't bounced to the height that he was expecting. Just looking at the field, the 5 in the circle, that's a minimum at this stage, but they're all in on the 1. No drop and runs. Sean Abbott's been very, very impressive today with his execution. Basically forcing the batter to try and play shots to beat those fielders. Push, maybe look to hit hard.
Salmendis, on the other hand, has maintained a good rate. Mid-80s is always good. 65 of 76. He's got exactly 50% of the runs for Sri Lanka at this stage. 4.29 is not a frighteningly quick rate of scoring, but then it's the conditions we are talking about. If one feels, if you feel, Mavis Maru feels 240 is a good score. Then Sri Lanka should adopt such an approach.
Blinder of an innings for Sri Lanka, and finally it was Abbott. The low full toss, getting caught in the deep.
He's hitting that bat hard. There have been the occasional delivery that he really bends his back. That one hit the bat hard.
214 Sri Lanka made on the back of that innings. A little bit disappointed that he could not flick it over that fielder for another 6. Different game today, or different situation where early in his innings, and Abbott at the moment dotting him up, as you said, hitting that bat hard. Does so again. Not being able to judge that length. Sri Lanka 131 for 3.
You did get it.
Yes, aloo, avocado, almonds, adrak, akbar, apple, whatever's on your mind, get it in 10 minutes. Swiggy, Instamart.
Central.
131 for 3. This is a beautiful part of Colombo, isn't it? The golf face. Just to relax. The golf is green. Evenings, particularly on weekends, there is no relaxing there. The servo fan army is here. They need a few more numbers. Make it strong and brightening, but at the moment, just getting there. The servo fan army. It's a servo cup, don't forget. I've started to move on in the eyes already. Short has gone for a few runs. 23 runs into the 4th over. Sri Lankan batters have looked to go after him, but he just slip in. Not good fielding.
Twelve of 27. Runs are hard to come by. That's what you do. Create the pressure. Sean Abbott looking to attack that, but he got caught on that turf, the practice turf, the corner, uneven bounce generally.
Tell you what, that rushed him a bit. Salve this. Deep end. Pushed to almost 93.
Sri Lanka knows he can always catch up. When he got that 100, he was 3 off his first 19 balls. It's after that that he looked to express himself. Taking the pace off, change of pace. Once again, a real arm wrestle here.
I love the contest. Sri Lanka may look good, 134 for 3, but Australia not letting off. Yeah. That's the batters all the time. They're pouring dots, they're building dots. 134 for 3.
कर लेता हूँ
रतिया के
गिराने में तो नहीं, पर स्टॉक्स पे जरूर मिल सकता है. Buy now and pay later with ICICI Direct Margin Trading Facility. अब पैसे की कमी की वजह से कोई भी
Well, it's been a good effort by Sri Lanka.
तो लाइन है मुर्गा ले आएंगे अमूल से पैसा नहीं मांगा हम पा गए कि एक पैसा बेचे तो बोलो ना पैसा मांगा मुर्गा के दे दी मसाला के दे दी
Progress a bit. Zampa's back. None for 22 or 4 overs. Looking at the way Zampa has moved.
नहीं मिल जाता है
He's trying to go a little bit full all the time and being driven a lot. Trying to bring that to the surface. Slowness of the surface is tempting him to do that. Or is he just looking for a little bit more purchase of the track? Because I think he pulls quicker generally and just maybe a touch back of a length. Well, in turning conditions, it's your spinner you call on to take wickets. You want him to be the attacking option. Zampa goes about his business slightly differently. Basically, the lengths and lines that you mentioned. He really hasn't got the balance right, that's what it is. But making the batter drive is what you want to do here. You get it to dip on him, turn and bounce, the miss hit comes in. Mid-off is in the circle for Srilanka. Trying to get him to hit down the ground and receive him in the air. That's when the pitch helps. But their first spell from the spinners, the Sri Lankan batters handled it well. A couple of short deliveries that moved away. Two very full deliveries that Madhus had made this hit. Go on. That's nicely bowled. That's what he's trying to do, but with the field that's set now, the batter going over the top is not an option. One of those deliveries was a wrong and which was picked by the batter, so it was good batsmanship. Now and again, as a spinner, you search for that wicket.
Srilanka, has he got hold of it? He's got a lot of height, I'll tell you. Oh no! Would you believe it? It was hanging in there for so long. I thought Glenn Maxwell had it for a moment, but just couldn't get there.
That's his area, Srilanka. Mid-wicket, I told you. Maxwell kept going and going. Dwarshuis bailed out and just short. He's not at his quickest, Glenn Maxwell, but I've got to say he had a long way to go for that.
But I would have thought that Maxwell is far more agile. Because Srilanka never looked like getting it off the middle of the bat. I somehow felt that he's got more height width and distance.
Now, there's a slight glance at Dwarshuis there. And then he sprints when he sees Dwarshuis not putting in. I thought Dwarshuis was close to that when he was initially hit. 6 singles off the Zampa over. It's 140 for 3.
कर लेता हूँ।
ये दर्द हम जानते हैं, गिराने पे तो नहीं, पर स्टॉक्स पे जरूर मिल सकता है। Buy now and pay later with ICICI Direct Margin Trading Facility. अब पैसे की कमी की वजह से कोई भी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिस मत करो। Investments and securities are subject to market risk. Read all the related documents carefully before investing. Like this business every month.
There's about 72 overs left. 140 for 3.
Tossed up. Srilanka goes to his favorite area. Now just there, he's looking at Dwarshuis. Then he tries to sprint harder because he realizes Dwarshuis is not coming towards it as quickly as he could have. Just short. Drops in the middle. So Srilanka pretty fortunate, and I think he thought he was in trouble. They ended up running only 1.
I think you're right. I think you may be right. Yes, he was concerned about Dwarshuis because he was coming around, and then he started to sprint. He gathered pace only when he realized that it was his catch. At that point, I think it got away from him.
Short spells all round. Here's Hardy once again. Around the wicket to Srilanka.
Slaps it. Hit on in the circle. To get in the gap. The outfield is fast. And he releases the pressure.
Not sure he got all all of it. I think he got it at the bottom of the back. But gets it into space now. Sri Lanka, just like the previous day, it was the 20th ball that he looked to play an attacking shot. Today, 18th ball that he's gone down the wicket. He's decided that it's time to try and make a change in the tempo of the game, and also for him to start taking control of the innings. But the fact that he's given him some time, given himself some time to get used to the pace of the wicket, tells you the understanding he has of these conditions.
Yeah, he should, isn't it? I mean, after that innings where he batted the most, they have a good idea. That's what he should do.
Exceptional in home conditions, Charita Sri Lanka. It's had a fabulous year 2024. ODIs at home. 4 Indians right on top, all must playing. Tremendous averages. Charita Sri Lanka also above 50. Trace Iyer bats in the middle order, just like Charita Sri Lanka at 4. Sri Lanka bats lower than the other players on that list. Why I say that it's down the order, it gets harder. You've got to come and settle into the pace of the game straight away. Maybe go for it right from the word go, hence take more risks. He's got most runs, but he has most number of hits as well. Again, down the order, be able to contribute in those huge chunks is commendable.
Pace off that time. Yeah, he's been a great, not just captain, but great batter as well for Sri Lanka. Basically carried sometimes the batting of Sri Lanka in the white ball format, contributed a lot. He has led the team as well. Done had a good record to show, even in terms of captaincy. Speak about his batting, his captaincy has been like exceptional.
Superb running. Fraser McGurk, a bit of work to do, throw across his body, and Kusal Mendes. Well, a couple of days ago, he played a wonderful innings. Sri Lanka in deep trouble. Started very, very slowly. Started to express himself, had to shield his batsman partner, so turned down lots of runs, which would make it harder for yourself in terms of making your or maintaining your rhythm. 148 for 3.
Well, we talk about the ICC Team of the Year. Look who's captaining Sri Lanka's at 4. Beg your pardon. Just lost one to Hasaranga there. 3 of them together, Nisanka, Mendes and Hasaranga, and then Hasaranga and Charita Sri Lanka as captain. That's massive. That's really massive. ICC Team of the Year 2024.
That's a very interesting team. 3 Afghanistan players as well. That's big for Afghanistan and their rise. Of course, to get your performances, the number of matches you play, allow you that opportunity. Most other teams did not play many ODIs as Sri Lanka, Pakistan and Afghanistan.
Yeah, can understand why Australia, England and India aren't figuring those players, because I believe they're looking at a completely mucked up from the so pick a player or player can help and consider himself qualified to be making ODI or Test 11 of the year.
Dangle the carrot, did Zampa. Wide of off-start, tossing it up. Just testing Sri Lanka once again. He tried to go to long on, he mishit one. Now just looking to knock it around again. Well, it'll be drinks after this over, so make sure you don't lose a wicket and then reassess, go from there. 15 overs to go. That's what these two players will be thinking. At this rate, 214, just as they did get the other day. But with wickets in hand, you'll be thinking 240, 6 and over, 8 and over, 271. So somewhere in that range.
Much better over from Zampa. He's settling in nicely into a rhythm by the looks of it in this over. And last delivery just dipped a bit. Yeah, he's not happy. I think he missed out. The 150 is up with a single of the last ball. 150 for 3, 35 overs completed. It is now time for some drinks.
जहाँ बड़े बिजनेस आइडियाज अक्सर लेते हैं उड़ान, शार्क टैंक इंडिया अब कर रहा है एक और यूनिक इनिशिएटिव को किकस्टार्ट। अगर आपका बिजनेस है दिव्यांगों के लिए या उनके द्वारा, ये है आपका स्पेशल चांस, क्योंकि शार्क टैंक टीम से जुड़ूंगा मैं, जीत अदानी, देने आपको सपोर्ट एंड गाइडेंस। आई सी यू ऑन शार्क टैंक।
Registrations खुले हैं सिर्फ 15 फरवरी तक। शार्क टैंक इंडिया सीजन 4 exclusively on Zoom.
के बाद खाना अच्छा होना तो बनता है। मेहनत का फल मीठा होता है।
Life tastes better with Viva.
इतनी मेहनत के बाद खाना अच्छा होना तो बनता है। मेहनत का फल मीठा होता है।
Life tastes better with Viva. Fortune राइस ब्रांड हेल्थ।
क्योंकि ये हेल्दी है।
और देखो कितना डार्क है
ये डार्क है क्योंकि इसमें ओराइजनॉल है।
ओराइजनॉल तो हमारे घर के तेल में भी है।
ओराइजनॉल सिर्फ राइस ब्रान ऑयल में है। ये गुड कोलेस्ट्रॉल बढ़ाए, बैड कोलेस्ट्रॉल घटाए और बॉडी में कोलेस्ट्रॉल कम पैदा होने देता है।
Fortune rice bran health, 100% rice bran oil, 100% health.
इतनी मेहनत के बाद खाना अच्छा होना तो बनता है। मेहनत का फल वीवा होता है।
Life tastes better with Viva.
Cricket is in Colombo and heart and memory is in Radisson Gall collection. With breathtaking ocean views and an array of exceptional amenities, Radisson Collection Resort Gall promises an unforgettable getaway. Welcome to the beautiful place that we stayed in Ravi weeks ago for the test series. Certainly the memories will be there for a very long time to come. Sri Lanka 150 for 3 in 35 overs. Nishank Madhuskar, Kamita Mendis are players out. So Mendis batting really well, 74 of 88, continuing his recent form from the test series. And Janita Srilanka, the centurion from the last game, continues to be steady at the middle, 13 of 24 deliveries. It's very out there, I'm sure. Charita Srilanka and Sal Mendes will be thankful to the reserve players to getting the umbrella out. Because of all, Patum is sunk in the first one to go, trying to go mid-wicket, clean ball of Hari, slow ball bounce, but Walsers got the job done. Nishan Madhushka nicely taken by Adam Zampa. Coming to Mendes, trying to play on the up, clean side edge to the stumps of Sean Abbott. 150 for 335 overs. Sri Lanka will be the happiest side. Sure.
I was going to ask you the same question. Who would you rather be? What camp would you rather be in now? I mean, a couple of wickets from there, especially if you get the two setbacks, batters out, easily bowled out for about 200, 210. A partnership here of about 50 really put pressure on Australia. So know that 250 is a big score on this surface.
Looks like going to be a bowling change from the far end. Dwashers back into the attack. Very impressive in the first 6 overs, 18 runs. Picked up the wicket of Nishan Madhushka with a slow ball bouncer. Surprises starting round the wicket, creating that angle away from the right-hander.
Yeah, the Australian seamers have been excellent today. They've been very disciplined in their line. There isn't much bounce in this pitch, isn't a lot of pace. They've bowled very straight at the stumps, kept the stumps in play. It's made it difficult for the Sri Lankan batsmen to get them away. It's a very difficult pitch to pull on.
Also making it difficult for the Australian selectors. Johnson played the last game, bowled exceptionally well. And pace and bounce and movement. Got another left arm in Dwazes. That's very impressive for me. Going into its first game of the Champions Trophy, maybe both will be featuring in the same one. Aaron Hari from the other end right now. They got Sean Abbott and Mendes as the all-round game as the third seamer. A lot to ponder about, a lot to think. Here comes George Bailey, come the first game in the Champions Trophy. Three main seamers having a rest in Australia.
Well, there'll be different conditions in Pakistan, I think. We'll see ball skids on a bit more. Very, very good wickets. As we saw the other day, Pakistan chasing down 350 and made it look easy in the end. There will be different conditions, different skill sets might be required there. Certainly with Spencer Johnson's pace, to pick up wickets.
Slow ball bouncer did not get up and was so slow that Kusal Mendes were way too early to the strokes. It was digged in hard, but just not get up.
It's a very effective ball, especially if you can disguise it well. As a batsman, sometimes you think it's going to rush on and it doesn't come out of the pitch, you end up playing your shots too early. Might see a lot more towards the end of this innings. I think the Australians have sussed that that's becoming a very effective delivery.
It was a keeper killer. Gone are the days, and the opportunity of giving us a signal to the wicket keeper what's going on, maybe come up with the modern day. I don't think that communication happened. I think it was awkward bounce.
Sal Mendes just a little bit frustrated with the last move there, picking out the wicket, swung his bat in anger.
Genuinely beaten outside the off-stump. A good delivery to end the 36. 152 for 3.
जहां बड़े बिजनेस आइडियाज अक्सर लेते हैं उड़ान, शार्क टैंक इंडिया अब कर रहा है एक और यूनिक इनिशिएटिव को किकस्टार्ट। अगर आपका बिजनेस ऐसे यंगों के लिए या उनके द्वारा, ये है आपका स्पेशल चांस। क्योंकि शार्क टैंक स्टेज से जुड़ूंगा मैं, जीत अदानी, देने आपको सपोर्ट एंड गाइडेंस। I'll see you India on Shark Tank.
Registrations खुले हैं सिर्फ 15 फरवरी तक। Shark Tank India Season 4 exclusively on Sunday.
Habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
A fantastic over in the last one by Dwashers. Almost got rid of Kusal Mendes with outside edge. Full day, sunny, it's humid. Players and fitness level will be tested, that's for sure. Adam Zampa to the attack, quite expensive, 6 overs to 30. Straight away, first ball, welcome to the creases, Charita Srilanka, and over the side screen it goes.
man in form, playing off the back of last game, struck the ball beautifully, played the spin well, played the pace well. Man's in great form. He's a key man to this side going into the last 10 overs.
That was a googly attempted as well by Zampa. Did Charita Sri Lanka pick it? Probably yes, but he had only one idea once he came out of the crease, that to smash it over the top. And good batters do put spinners pressure early on in the spell, just to make sure they're not comfortable leading up to the next few deliveries. Good batting. A 6 followed by a single.
Yeah, very good batting. I think the Sri Lankans know that the seamers are difficult to score off. They've got to take their chances against a spin. It looks a little bit easier, although there is turn in this wicket. Economy rates. Spinners this series in Colombo. Australians at 5.38.
In the air. Lucky Kusalman, he did not time it too well. If not, feel at the long off would have been in play.
Just tell that the gears has just shifted a little bit here for the Sri Lankan batsmen. They are looking for the boundaries, especially against the spinners. Targeting the spinners now. Mendes trying to get that over extra cover. Big gap.
That's spot on, Robbie. I thought Kusal Mendes was trying to get it over extra cover. The probably slowness of the pitch, maybe got too close to the ball. Almost hit it straight to Fraser McGurk, quite long off.
That can be the danger on a slow pitch. Sometimes being too square gets you inside half of the bat.
Looking through the air. After the back-to-back wickets, Charita Sri Lanka and Kusal Mendes have put down 41 of 61. Exactly what the doctor ordered for Sri Lanka. Previously, we spoke about still at 240, 230 is a good score. I think that's they are minimum. The pitch is behaving. Quicker. I thought it was inside edge. Having a chat, Steve Smith, Josh Inglis and Adam Zampa, whether to go upstairs or not. 5 seconds more, probably I thought it's just outside your stump. Runs out of time. 37 gone, 162 for 3.
यहाँ बड़े बिजनेस आइडिया अक्सर लेते हैं उधार। शार्क टैंक इंडिया अब कर रहा है एक और यूनिक इनिशिएटिव को किकस्टार्ट। अगर आपका बिजनेस है दिव्यांगों के लिए या उनके द्वारा, तो ये है आपका स्पेशल चांस, क्योंकि शार्क टैंक स्टेज से जुड़ूंगा मैं, जीत प्रदान देने आपको सपोर्ट एंड गाइडेंस। I'll see you India on Shark Tank India.
Registrations खुले हैं सिर्फ 15 फरवरी तक। Shark Tank India Season 4 exclusively on Sri Yes, please.
162 for 3. Sri Lanka trying to rebuild this innings with Kusal Mendes and Sri Lanka. Put up 41 this wicket. Mid off, clears it. Option was right by Kusal Mendes. Mid on, both in the circle. Didn't get the middle of the bat, but big enough to go over the top of Travis Head.
Probably picked the shortest man on the field as well, Travis Head. Just got enough, and you just can see the Sri Lankan batsmen just going through the gears here. Both men are set now. It's an opportunity to up the scoring rate, get themselves a very, very good score on a difficult surface.
Similar mindset to Charita Sri Lanka by Kusal Mendes. First ball of the previous over from Zampa went down the wicket, smashed it over the bowler's head for 6. Kusal Mendes is the first ball in the spell. It's important as a batter, it's much as settle. Just put the pressure straight away. Exactly what he did.
It's often a tactic batsman uses, going off the base delivery of an over. I must say it's not something that I ever thought about when I was out there.
Ball is fucking put away off the first ball of Leo for 4 or 6. My mind, my instincts will be defensive straight away. He's trying his best, probably fingertips over the top.
He should grow a couple of inches. His growing days are over.
One couple of years he had just been at 1 day to understand. 2023 50 over scored against India. That's the word comes to mind. Slow ball picks up very easily by Sri Lanka, and a good shot and very well fielded. I'm sure the third umpire will have a look again, but full marks to the effort. Fraser McGurk.
He's a very good fielder. He's quick across the ground. Got a good arm. These young fielders now. A lot of fielding practice. Very important part of the game. When there's batting and bowling, that fielding skills become so important. Saving 2 runs.
Magnificent. A full length dive to the Ravi. I think it's brilliant. Save a couple of runs for his team. I think he's 100% the young man. Confirmation, only 2 runs. Slow ball. It's good stuff by Dawes. It's not only about pace, about variations as well.
And that's the line, and that's been the most difficult score of today. At the stumps, around that off stump, not giving the room to the batsman to maneuver the ball. Asking them to get the ball back straight and hard. The pitch doesn't have a great deal of pace, so it's difficult to get it back past the bowler with any pace.
Another slow delivery. A single to end the 38th over. 107 for 3.
Why do we play poker? We play for the moments that define us, for the stare downs, the deep breaths, and the silence before the call, for the hands we let go, and the ones we can't. Define